People always will find a place to make a baby, but they don't have a place to support their children. Now your children are with the maternal grandparent you wanted. True, is their proposed agreement?
Violation of solution number 8 on or about 28th day of July 2025, Rivera County taxes the defendant Ida Herrera failed to report a change of address to supervision officer in violation of solution number 8.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
Any objections?
No objection, Your Honor.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 8, the court can find it true, grant the motion, and sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility?
Yes.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 8? Court will find violation of condition number 8 true. Is there proposed agreement?
No, Judge. State is requesting that you grant this.
All right, pause right here. This is already serious. She just pleaded true to violating probation. And in probation court, that's massive. Why? Because unlike a criminal trial, where the state has to prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt, probation violations have a much lower burden. Once she admits the violation, the judge has enormous discretion. Translation? This hearing just shifted from did she violate probation to how much mercy does she deserve? And with a judge like Stephanie Boyd, mercy is never guaranteed.
If she remains in Bear County until she gives birth, then participate in SADF once she's medically cleared. I did look over previous information from the last MTR. This is her second MTR. She's been on probation not even a year, Judge. The last MTR, she was supposed to go to a NOS program. She wasn't accepted into NOS. She was supposed to have a felony drug court evaluation and then return back to court. That did not happen. She was not accepted into the NOS program because my notes indicate the NOS program didn't accept her insurance.
Okay. So any objections to the court reviewing the court summary?
No, Your Honor.
Just like the song says, tears do not make flowers. All right. So here's the thing. Do I think you would be a good candidate for probation? No. We've tried things. But am I willing? Maybe things will change. Maybe there can be some help for you. I know that from reading this, well, I don't know why the tears are here. Because I will tell you this, I appreciate the tears, right?
It's not even a
But let me just tell you, just like the song says, tears do not make flowers grow. And the problem is you haven't been stepping up to the plate and doing what you're supposed to do. I'm reading the court summary, and you know what it says in here? Your parents have custody of your other children due to CPS issues. No, that's what that says here.
That's what it says, but I have I can get paperwork and proof from Attorney General that I have full right to custody of my kids.
You should.
And I'm the custodial parent of all 3. It's just, I'm waiting on my housing. I've been bouncing from place to place, so that's why I didn't want to.
Let me just tell you, you should not have custody of your children. And this is what I don't understand, and I want you to internalize what I'm saying. I'm not trying to be mean.
Whew, there it is. That may be the hardest sentence a parent can hear in open court. You should not have custody of your children. And notice what's happening here. The judge isn't focused only on drugs anymore. This has expanded into something bigger: stability, responsibility, and whether these children are safe. And yes, the judge's delivery is blunt, very blunt. But here's the uncomfortable question for all of us. Is harsh truth sometimes necessary? Or does shame just make recovery harder?
We're going to place the child with the great grandparent. I was like, well, that's going to mess things up because, I'm hoping everybody will live forever. But I'm like, that great grandparent is too old. No, not too old. On the CPS side, we have grandparents who are like 40. I actually represented somebody once. I was representing the baby. And you know how old that baby's mom was? 12. People out here just running around, having children, not giving them any idea of what life is all about, just procreating. And here you are, you're out here just procreating. And you have no means to support. Oh, I'm placing my children with my grandparents because I don't want to be bouncing from place to place because I don't have a place to stay. Whose fault is that? Yours? Get a job. People always will find a place to make a baby, but they don't have a place to support their children. Now your children are with the maternal grandparents, and trust me, grandparents, guess what they want to do? They just want to be the fun grandparent. There are no rules here. I'm going to spoil my grandbabies and then send them back home to you. But they can't because you're not doing anything.
I've actually been waiting on my housing, Miss.
Now, here's the thing. You're waiting on housing. Guess what? You're not providing that housing. The government is providing housing, which means taxpayers are providing housing. And I got news for you. There's a government shutdown. And I don't know why you would choose to get pregnant, because people know how babies are made, when you don't have your life together. And you don't even have your 3 children with you. Now you're crying before me because you don't want to go to the state jail facility. And let me just tell you, I would send you for 2 years, right? And you know what would end up happening? You would be at the state jail facility. And when your baby was born, somebody would be right there to pick up your baby. Somebody in the form of the state, Child Protective Services. And either it would be placed with your maternal grandparents, but your mom may say, you know what? I can't take any more children. And then you know what ends up happening? Then your siblings are separated. Because somebody will adopt your baby. Your attorney will tell you, guess what? It's always easy to get a newborn baby adopted because you know why? People are looking to adopt children. Guess what they figure? There isn't too much damage that a parent could have done to this child unless they were using drugs while they were carrying the child. They are ready to go and take that baby. And you know, on the CPS side, when you place children with foster parents, they're just supposed to foster. We're going to be here. We're a stopgap for the parent. The parent's going to get their life together. But you know what really happens? Foster parents fall in love with the children. Next thing you know, they're hiring an attorney, and that attorney is filing motions so that they can adopt your child and your rights can be terminated. And then that's how you have a bunch of people walking around on the planet, don't even know they're related, because people like you are just procreating. And then you come before me crying because you haven't done what you're supposed to do.
All right, pause right here. This is already serious. She just pleaded true to violating probation. And in probation court, that's massive. Why? Because unlike a criminal trial, where the state has to prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt, probation violations have a much lower burden. Once she admits the violation, the judge has enormous discretion. Translation? Whew, there it is. That may be the hardest sentence a parent can hear in open court. You should not have custody of your children. And notice what's happening here. The judge isn't focused only on drugs anymore. This is expanded into something bigger: stability, responsibility, and whether these children are safe. And yes, the judge's delivery is blunt, very blunt. But here's the uncomfortable question for all of us. Is harsh truth sometimes necessary, or does shame just make recovery harder? This might be the most chilling part of the entire hearing. Legally, what the judge is describing is termination of parental rights. That's family court's nuclear option. Once parental rights are terminated, the law can treat the parent-child relationship as permanently severed. Adoption becomes possible, reunification becomes nearly impossible. And the judge is painting the worst-case scenario in brutal detail. Miss enough chances, ignore enough warnings, keep choosing chaos, and someone else may end up raising your child. That's not courtroom drama anymore. That's generational trauma unfolding in real time. I'm curious where you stand on that oration. This hearing just shifted from, did she violate probation, to how much mercy does she deserve? And with a judge like Stephanie Boyd, mercy is never guaranteed.
for a transfer to felony drug court. We're going to do an updated TAP. And regardless of what the TAP says, it's going to be inpatient treatment. And once she's released, there's going to be field visits until further notice. Is there anything else?
Not from defense counsel, Judge.
All right, we can go off the record. So do not come to me. If you're back here again for this, don't come because you're wasting your tears, not helping flowers grow. You understand?
So here's the final ruling. She avoids the full 2-year state jail sentence, for now. Instead, the court orders inpatient treatment or felony drug court. That sounds lenient, but don't get it twisted. Drug court is intense. We're talking strict supervision, mandatory testing, counseling, court check-ins, zero tolerance for slipping back. Miss appointments, fail tests, disappear again, she'll be right back in front of this judge. And I can't ignore the irony here. The judge repeatedly says, tears don't make flowers grow. Translation? Emotion without action changes nothing. And honestly, that might be the core message of this.
Not available to report to probation because they couldn't find you. You're able to do all of that.
I was reporting on this capability of my UA. I wouldn't show up for my report dates.
No, they tried to find you. They could not.
That's where I just found
So
I was kicked out from where I was staying, and my belongings had got stolen. My cell phone had got stolen. That's why I wasn't able to receive the phone call.
but here's the thing. You are able to contact someone so you can have a baby and become pregnant.
I was already pregnant by the time I got out to probation.
Mm-hmm. All right, good luck.